As soon as I knew it was happening, I accepted it. I felt immediate peace about it, and I've continued to feel that peace ever since. It was about a month ago. I was in Maui visiting my family. I was 10 weeks, almost 11 weeks pregnant. But truthfully, I had a feeling something was different a day or two after I got to Maui when I was about 8 weeks, because the nausea had gone away. And I hadn't been very nauseous this pregnancy, but definitely every day I felt nausea at some point, and then I didn't. But I continued to feel pregnant in other ways before I officially miscarried. All in all, it was such an interesting experience, to be honest, because I don't know, I felt like I was not at all prepared. And I think it's one of those things, like, you're not prepared for it until you go through it, a lot like birth itself, or pregnancy or motherhood. Like, you don't, like, you kind of understand it, you have an idea, people try to explain it to you, but you don't really get it until you go through it. For me, I thought miscarriage was just a really sad thing some women go through, a lot of women go through, it's super common. And I thought it was, you know, sad because you lost a child. It's sad because you wanted to have a baby and then the baby was gone, and that's true. What I wasn't prepared for was how physical it was. I just had no clue. I know someone who's had several miscarriages, and she said each one was different from the last. And my miscarriage, it's the only miscarriage I've ever had, it very much felt like labor. It felt like I was giving birth. It felt like a mini birth. It felt like birth and death all at once. And it really reminded me a lot of how my first birth went, my labor with my first child, because I was so mentally not prepared for it, and I felt pain the entire time. So the way it went for me, some people describe miscarriage like a heavy period, and I know that is the case for some people, but no, mine did not feel like a heavy period at all. It felt like labor. It lasted 4 hours. They were actual contractions, and it wasn't just, oh, that was some hard cramping. It was like I was writhing on the floor in pain, and mostly because I think I was so mentally unprepared for, I like did not know I was gonna give birth that night. Thankfully, it happened at night. Thankfully, it happened when all the kids were asleep, and my sister and I could be there in the candlelight, and it was just her. I couldn't do it without her. She was my doula. Yeah, so that's something I really was not prepared for, was like needing a support person while the miscarriage was happening. I mean, and for postpartum. So it's interesting because we sell a birth course that has helped so many women have this, euphoric experience with birth where they don't feel pain, and they truly embrace the contractions, and it feels so good. And they're on this like high from giving birth. And miscarriage, my experience, really did feel like a mini birth, but I was not having the euphoric experience for a few reasons. I mean, first of all, I was so mentally unprepared, and when you are giving birth, like something we teach in our course is the importance of preparing mentally for it, and doing a lot of work during pregnancy, mental work to prepare. And yeah, was not prepared. I had no freaking clue that it was gonna be like that, because I knew I was going to miscarry because I started bleeding earlier that morning. And the other reason it was so different than, my second birth, which really was pain-free and euphoric and ecstatic and amazing, is because it was not a happy ending. When you are in birth, you're going through a lot of physical sensations, but you know there's a happy ending. You're gonna have a squishy baby in your arms, and you're going to be feeling on this high, and you finally get to meet who you've been carrying all that time. And so when I was miscarrying, it was like all of the sensations, all of the very intense sensations of birth, but with a deep sadness and mourning and grieving during. So that was super interesting. But what was also interesting, I use the word interesting because I just felt like, it really felt like I was observing myself a lot during the entire experience, from knowing I was going to miscarry to when the postpartum experience ended. just kind of observing what was happening. So that's why I use that word interesting, because I was very interested in what was happening because I've never gone through anything like that. So the other interesting part was that so I was writhing on the ground, severe pain, just not knowing what to do with myself. I was almost hyperventilating because I was just taking these really shallow breaths because I was in such pain and resisting. But at some point, early on, maybe less than an hour in, I recognized I'm giving birth. Hannah, you are giving birth. You need to do the things that you do in birth in order to embrace the experience. And I do believe you can embrace the full spectrum of human emotions. Like, you can embrace grief, the way we hope to embrace the joy of birth. So you need to embrace this right now, Hannah. And I had to mentally, with all of the strength deep inside me, like redirect the ship, like pull that, whatever that steering wheel thing is, call it on a ship that looks like this. It felt like I was like in a storm. I had to redirect and pull my mind and center myself to force myself to be present and embrace the contractions, embrace the whole experience and surrender to it, rather than running away and resisting and tensing up because I was afraid and confused about what was happening. And I found that encouraging. I'm always like making these connections. I'm like, wait, for my next birth, because we do want a third baby, for my next birth, I need to summon that strength if I ever feel out of control, and I know I can do it. So I found that weirdly encouraging. I don't know, if you're inside my brain, it would make a lot of sense. But I found it encouraging to know that I can redirect the ship if I need to with my mental strength. And I was like, just showed myself how strong I can be. After that, we put on my birth playlist and I found a position that made sense to me. And because I didn't have like a pregnant belly, I had a little belly because I was, third pregnancy, and far along my zipper is down, I just realized. So I laid on my stomach with a hot water bottle on my uterus womb area, and then with my right leg up, so kind of on my left side, kind of on my belly, and my arms underneath propping me up. And I was just mooing through each contraction through like low, and it's weird because unlike birth, it wasn't like contraction, break, it was like pain, more pain, pain, more pain, pain. And so I was just mooing through the intensity, and then I had to like stay in that position and really, really focus. I did get in the shower a couple times because my sister doesn't have a bath, which I was cursing her for. All I wanted was to get into a warm bath. But I got into the shower and would like sit on the ground with like the hose thing like down here, like helping me. But I shouldn't have gone in the second time because I was so high, I almost passed out. And that was the scariest part. I really thought I was gonna pass out, and thankfully my sister was there to help me through that. Wow, that was so crazy. And then like at the end, I was still in that position. My sister was like falling asleep. It's 1:30 in the morning at this point. And she's like, she could tell I wasn't writhing anymore and I wasn't as loud anymore, but I was still very much in it. I was just really concentrating and had to focus on breathing, embracing, surrendering, going towards it, that whole thing. And she was like falling asleep on the couch, and she's like, Hannah, I think maybe we should all go to sleep. And I was like, I'm not done. Because I wasn't done. Weirdly, there are like, there's funny things that happen in birth where you like laugh about it later. There were funny things that were happening during this miscarriage too. Most of them were just like me being really bossy with my sister. Like orange juice, water, sock. And anyway, and then it was done. It felt like a bloop bloop, and then it was done, and then it came out in the toilet, and it was pretty big. The whole time I'm like, this is so interesting. Oh my word. So then the other thing I was not mentally prepared for at all was how physical it was after. I had heard it, that there was a postpartum healing experience that needs to happen with miscarriage. And again, I just kind of thought it was emotional. I didn't realize how physical it is because I was pregnant. I had all the hormones, all the bodily changes. My uterus is still kind of puffy, like I had a belly. So I was not prepared for after. The next day, I think I was still kind of in shock and I felt kind of normal, and my family was like telling me to rest. I'm like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right. Just hungry. I was really hungry after. And then the day after is when all the like postpartum hormones hit me. And this is the crazy, interesting part. Sorry, I know the word's probably irritating you, but it is the most accurate word for me right now. When you're postpartum, you're hit with all these postpartum hormones, and it's normal to feel like all the ups and downs, the full spectrum, and you're just feeling a little blue, and then you're feeling high, and then you're feeling like what's happening, and you start crying really easily, and it's all normal, it's all wonderful, and it's okay to feel blue sometimes, But the thing is, I didn't have my baby in my arms, so I didn't have the offset of the oxytocin and the love and the breastfeeding and the cuddles and the joy and the naming the baby and all the joy that comes with having a baby. I just had nothing in my arms. Obviously, I have my 2 wonderful living children, and I think that the experience would be tremendously more difficult if I didn't have my living children. I really think that's why I feel more at peace about it. And if I didn't have my living children, and going through this, desperately wanting to be pregnant and having a baby, and then you're not anymore, that would be devastating for me. The postpartum hormones from miscarriage, I just was so unprepared for. I got up that day and I was trying to like help with dishes in the morning. My family, again, was not pressuring me to help. I just feel really bad not helping. And they're like, you should rest. I was like, I actually really need to rest. I need to go back to bed. And so like thankfully they could watch my kids while I just laid in bed, and it felt like a lot like depression, like a lot of paralysis, just laying there. Then you're crying and then you're not crying, and you're just kind of laying there with this like blank stare, and you're like can't move, and then you hear a ding on your phone and you can't answer it. That's what it felt like to me. And then just all of the physical demands of taking care of young children, that was really hard. And actually my husband came to rescue me. I was like, babe, I need to be rescued at the moment. Please come get me, because there is no way I could fly home alone with these 2 young children. No way. So he came to Maui for a couple days and took us home. And I'm really, really grateful for that. Oh my gosh. We had to take our red eye back. Ugh, I hate red eyes. That was horrible. And I was like doing better, but still like exhausted. So doing the travels back with the kids and the red eye, I got home and I feel like it kind of set me back a few days or something, because I bled for like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And then I was so tired. I was so exhausted. And I didn't realize how long it takes to recover from miscarriage. And now everyone's experience is totally different. But I just had no idea. And I would get these like headaches. I had to be really on top of hydrating and resting and not doing too much, which is really difficult as a mom to rest. It is so hard, but thankfully I have a super supportive husband. I am fully physically recovered now, thankfully. Even started dipping my toe in fitness again, because I felt really weak for a few weeks and just like I want to get my strength back. And emotionally, I really am telling the truth that I feel at peace. As soon as I knew it was happening, I felt at peace about it, and I continue to feel that peace and this deep trust that this is just part of the plan. And it's kind of one of those pieces that surpasses understanding. And it's actually, I can't explain it. I can't explain this peace that I have, and I'm really, really glad for it. I don't know, that would be really difficult to have questions, to feel shame, to feel guilt. I don't feel shame at all. I don't feel any guilt about it, because I know that my body didn't fail me. I know that my body recognized that this baby wasn't viable and did what it needed to do early on, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my body taking care of me and taking care of everything that needed to happen. I'm not triggered by other people's pregnancies and births at all. And I'm surrounded by women giving birth. It's a really awesome community of mothers. I am not triggered in any way, because I know this is just part of the story, and my 3rd baby will be here in my arms when the timing is right, and I just believe everything happens the way it's supposed to. Like, to be surrendered to the plan, surrendered to the story, that yeah, I don't know. I actually really believe that trust is the ultimate feminine expression, and I have been brought along on this motherhood journey deeper and deeper into my femininity, and been learning so much about that, and that's another video, I think. I am triggered when I have to tell someone, because I don't keep my pregnancy a secret, except like online to people I don't know. I don't keep my pregnancy a secret with like anyone, so I had to tell people. Thankfully I could just like text everyone, and then later I was like, oh, I didn't tell this person, I didn't tell this person. I have to like tell them, you know, in person, I'm with them. And that triggers me, because the thought, even just the thought of telling someone makes me start to cry, and the thought of their sympathy makes me start to cry. Saying it out loud hurts. Not as much right now, but it, you know, right when it happened, when I had to tell people and say it out loud, that hurt. So I obviously contemplated whether I was going to share about this publicly. As you know, I don't really post that much anymore. I don't really divulge everything about my life like I used to, and that is for many reasons that I've been open about. It's just really freaking hard to do this anymore now that I am a mom, and my husband works full-time, like more than full-time, so I have to like hire someone to help me watch the kids so that I can do stuff like this, and it's honestly not what I want to do. Like, I just want to be with my kids and homeschool them and be one of those freaking trad wife ladies. But I very quickly decided this is the right decision to share, and this is the same reason why I like put the vulnerabilities and the intimacy of my home births online, is for the benefit of others, because it's like a mission especially home birth is like a mission I deeply believe in empowering women to give birth physiologically. And the reason I'm sharing about miscarriage and this experience of mine is because to normalize, you know, because I believe one of the reasons I feel a confidence in my body and just that whole experience of having peace and everything about it is because of brave women who have shared all about their early losses and helped to like normalize miscarriage and like say it out loud more, post about it, talk about it. For so long it was something women suffered through silently. I cannot imagine not telling my community that I was pregnant, and then I miscarry in that time, and then not telling them. I could not do that. I am not that private with my people in my real life. Like, I just like share everything. I have to, I can't not. So I just think there is no benefit like of not telling people you're pregnant and then not telling people about your miscarriage. You need support during miscarriage, so don't keep it secret. There's no shame, guys. And I really believe that the shame thing is fading, I hope, because of social media. There are some good things with social media. So yeah, that's why I decided to post about it and just share my story, help normalize it. You know, it is wild how common miscarriage is. My neighbor, she says she doesn't know a single woman who hasn't had one, which is crazy. All that to say, I know people say, oh, but it doesn't make it easier, like how common it is. Maybe that's the case for some people. For me, it does make it easier. So anyway, it was nice to tell that to you. And that is one of the reasons I have not posted in so long. I'm still just so baffled about how mothers work when their partner is also working. I don't understand it. And the answer to me is not working anymore. So yeah, that end is coming. It is springtime. It's like so beautiful lately, and we are in the garden. This is my first year ever being on time with my garden. To answer a potential question, are you gonna try again for another baby? Yes, 100%. I want so many children. I'm kicking myself that I didn't start having kids until I was 32. I could have started at 24, and I wish I did. I am excited for another baby. I just need a few more weeks to get strong again. I don't want to go into pregnancy flabby, tired, weak, and I feel energized. I feel a lot better, but I really want to get my fitness back. Honestly, that's all it is. I just want to get my fitness back. I want to feel good, and that's the way I like to start pregnancy, is going into it strong.